aliens are really just angels and demons. Namaste, y'all. I'm Timothy the Tiger. I am an evangelist, which means a messenger of the great news of King Jesus Christ. He personally has helped me heal physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And now it is part of my dharma, part of my purpose here in this magical realm called Earth, to make these videos to hopefully inspire y'all to enter into a relationship with your God. So today, we're going to talk about a lie. Aliens. See, the first letter's A, and then L-I-E, a lie. We've been lied to about aliens because really, as far as I know, they're just angels and demons. And so, got some bullet points here. Let's jump into it. The first one, another dimension. In my experience, these beings are in another dimension, which would make sense. It would make sense that angels and demons are in another dimension. Angels are the heavenly dimension, demons are in a hellish dimension, and the way to quote unquote access these beings or see these beings or communicate with these beings, usually you use your spiritual senses, which Jesus Christ referred to as the single eye. It's also known as the third eye, the eye of intuition, the ajna chakra, all that. And my personal experience, I have been able to see certain things using my mind's eye. Now, I think it is possible that they could somehow be in the third dimension, this dimension as well, 3D dimension. So I'm not writing that off because people have made claims that they've been abducted, but that could have been their astral body, really. I mean, it could have been it could have happened on another dimension. I mean, maybe their astral body was abducted, their light body, but their physical body stayed back here. But again, this is open-minded video. It could be both. They could be in another dimension and maybe possibly in this dimension as well, 3D. So some of the main ones. So if you're in the New Age community, you probably have heard of these. Like they call them star beings, but you got the Octurians, the Syrians, the Lyrians, the Pleiadians. I probably spelled Pleiadian wrong, but I did my best. I don't have internet where I live, so I can't look it up. Okay. Now, when I first got into the whole New Age movement, religion thing, it's very fascinating because like you'll meet people that like they'll channel these star beings and speak in some light language, and it's like, what the heck? And so I was very fascinated, and I felt some sort of connection to the Octurian one. And I'll admit, I was trying to connect to them. I was trying to communicate to them and like pray to them. I quickly snapped out of it, and I was like, what am I doing? Why don't I just pray to God who created all these star beings? So in the New Age community, you see a lot of New Agers are channeling star beings, and it's just like, why not just pray to God, the creator who created everything, including all your star beings? And so that's just kind of where I'm at, because I'm very wary, cautious, because, like demons and fallen angels, and it's like, I don't know what I'm really connecting to. Like, I know when I connect to Jesus Christ, I can trust Jesus Christ, but these star beings, I don't know, y'all. Like, I'm just saying, like, I tell my friends, like, be careful, like, what you're opening yourself up to. I mean, do you really know if they're benevolent? Now, I hope they are. I hope they're benevolent. I imagine there are these quote-unquote benevolent star beings, which we would probably just call angels. They're probably just angels. Let's get into the grays. That third one, another type of quote-unquote star being, but these things are demons, y'all. I know that. So my understanding is that the fallen angels came to Earth. They started having sex with the women of Earth. Those women got pregnant, and they gave birth to Nephilim, which became giants. And then God flooded the earth because the giants were destroying everything. And so these are the children of the fallen angels, the Nephilim giant. Excuse me. And so God flooded the earth, told Noah to build an ark, mainly to kill off these giants. Well, they died off, but their quote-unquote spirit lived on And that is my understanding of what the Greys are. The Greys are the spirit of the Nephilim giant. And essentially, they are the children of the fallen angel. So hopefully that makes sense. My understanding is that the Greys are the spirits of the children of the fallen angels. Demons. Essentially the source of demons. And in my personal experience, I've had 3 gray aliens. I was trying to go to bed, and as I was falling asleep, I could see in my mind's eye 3 gray aliens just in my mind's eye. And immediately I sat up and I started rebuking them in prayer, and I could feel they were trying to mind control me, like trying to do some psychic attack. Yeah, it's freaky, really freaky. Let's get into this last one. And yeah, y'all, just you got to pray to Jesus. You got to pray up. Put on that full armor of God. Be careful with this stuff. Project Bluebeam / fake alien invasion. I used to have a video on my channel. I went through this thing where I got kind of paranoid and like I deleted all my conspiracy theory videos, but I had a video on 9/11. I had a video on Project Bluebeam, video on some other stuff. And I was just like, oh, I got to take it off. And anyways, it explained it really well. It explained Project Bluebeam really well. And essentially it's this idea of, there's going to be a fake alien invasion where, just look at it. They've like slowly been releasing information and getting people, open to the idea that aliens are real now. Now it's not such a crazy idea that aliens are real. And the idea is that with Project Bluebeam that they're going to use some sort of hologram technology and use projectors. And have you ever seen Independence Day where they have the mothership that's like above Los Angeles and above the White House? And they're going to use projectors and project these giant motherships above all the major cities. But it's not going to be real. It's going to look real, but it's just going to be a projection. But everyone's going to think it's real because everyone's been brainwashed and programmed to accept this. I mean, how many alien invasion movies have there been? There's countless alien invasion movies. That's not entertainment. That's programming. And so when it comes to the UFO, there's evidence that the Nazi Germany in World War II, they channeled using, they had this thing called the Vril Society. And the idea, it was these group of women and their hair was down to their ankles because the hair is an antenna. That's why the yogis keep their hair long. It's because it's easier to essentially connect to these other dimensions. And so the Vril Society supposedly channeled the technology for UFOs. And Hitler wasn't able to create it until the very end of the war. And essentially, we see the whole UFO thing directly after World War II. That's when it became popular, like with comic books and movies and what's that place where like, anyways, I'm blanking on some of the things right now. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that the military has had the technology for UFOs since the 1940s. And for the last 80 years, they have been essentially prepping society. At first, they were just like, it was this like whole crazy idea that like, you're crazy if you think UFOs are real. And now it's like, you're kind of crazy if you don't think it's real. And so my understanding is that they're just military aircraft and they've been withholding technology from us, free energy. And so everything that they like allow us to have, really the technology is way more advanced. And that, like, for example, they've had UFO since the 1940s. For the last 80 years, they've had the technology of like a free energy anti-gravitational device like 80 years ago. Imagine what they have today. And they've been holding that all back from society. They were driving cars in the 1940s. We still drive cars today. Like, things have not changed. They were flying airplanes in the 1940s. We still fly airplanes today. Like, the technology hasn't really changed much at all. They were still using trains and boats. We still use trains and boats. Things are a little bit nicer. Yeah, cars are a little bit nicer. Like, airplanes are a little bit nicer. But, like, sure, it got a little bit more luxurious. But the concept is very similar, and the technology hasn't really progressed that much. And so the idea is that during this fake alien invasion, Project Bluebeam, and I'm not trying to scare y'all, I'm just sharing some information. They'll release these UFOs, and it will look like a real alien invasion, but really they're just military aircraft, and the mothership is just a projection. And so that's basically my basic understanding of all this, and the whole purpose of it all is to bring in and usher in the Antichrist. Now, God revealed to me that the Antichrist is going to be Barack Obama. We will see. I'm not the only one. You go on YouTube, other people have had dreams that Barack Obama is the Antichrist. And if I had to guess, what we're going to see is some sort of economic collapse. And then after an economic collapse, that's going to usher in World War III. And then I would imagine to end World War III, we would have this Project Bluebeam fake alien invasion. And I imagine that they're going to probably come as peacekeepers. They're going to be like, hey, stop fighting World War III. We're your gods. We created you. And now we have to intervene and stop you from killing each other, because if we don't, you guys are just going to completely annihilate and destroy yourself. And so I think the aliens, aka these demons, they're going to present themselves as saviors, helping humanity, as peacekeepers, when in actuality they started World War III. And then it's like problem, reaction, solution. So the problem's World War III, the reaction is all this fighting and killing, and the solution is bring in alien overlord gods. And the people are so brainwashed and everything, like they're gonna be grateful that the World War III is over, and they're gonna be like, oh, these alien gods. And people have just been programmed and brainwashed by Hollywood to already accept this. And they'll probably have powers too, and people are going to be mystified by these powers because, it's fallen angels. They're angelic. And so, I mean, this is all hypothetical. I mean, I'm just throwing ideas out. But it's good to be aware of this idea, because if something like this were to happen, I mean, people are going to go in shock. And at least I have some level of awareness where it's like it won't be as surprising to me, and I'll be better prepared and be better to recognize the deception and realize, King Jesus Christ is still king. I'm not worshiping some false fallen angel, alien overlord, antichrist, whatever. Like, y'all, you got to realize this is a spiritual war. This is a game of good versus evil, and the evil, they're already condemned eternally. And the next best thing that they can do is destroy God's children by not only destroying their bodies and minds, but ultimately stealing their soul. And I know this video is a bit intense, but this life is a bit intense, and things are about to ramp up a little bit more, because I have faith that Jesus Christ is coming back soon. Because this type of scenario, I mean, we're going to need Jesus Christ. I mean, that's going to give Jesus Christ a reason to intervene and stop this. But until then, we got to stick close to the King, stick close to the Great Shepherd. Don't go astray. So, yeah, y'all, be careful with this whole alien agenda thing. I think it's all demonic for the most part. And just stick close to King Jesus Christ. That's the safest thing you can do. Keep his commandments, stay repentant, baptize yourself in water. I just took a shower. I always do the sign of the cross and ask God to baptize me in the water, cleanse me, turn that water into holy water. Stick close to God, y'all. I mean, that's all that really matters. The ultimate thing is the salvation of your soul, and the salvation of the souls of our friends and our families and our community. I mean, that's the name of the game here. I mean, I know this is a very convincing video game that we're in, but really it's a video game. It's a test, a divine test of good versus evil. And it's like, which side are we going to end up on? Are we going to end up on the good godly side or the evil devilish side? And so it's up to you and your free will. and through your actions and through your thoughts, we individually decide how this game will turn out. And I encourage you to make the good, godly decisions, which are keeping the commandments, staying repentant, staying prayed up, meditating, worshiping God. Yeah, y'all. It's all that really matters. Nothing else really matters. Yeah, there's like some trivial things in this temporary existence, but eternally, the only eternal thing is the salvation of your soul and where your soul is going to end up. And is it going to end up in the heavenly astral realms or the hellish astral realms? So thank you for listening to this video. I know it was a bit different, but I felt called. God put it on my heart to make this and hopefully raise some level of awareness and some open-mindedness. And yeah, may God bless all y'all. Namaste.